Welcome to the podium, Melissa Sturge-Apple, Vice Provost and Dean of Graduate Education and Postdoctoral Affairs.
Wasn't that a great speech? How about another round of applause? It is a privilege to be able to announce the 2024 Teaching Awards for our faculty who are deeply invested in graduate education for our graduate students. The Lifetime Achievement Award in Graduate Education is awarded to Harry Reese, who holds the Dean's Professorship in the Department of Psychology in the School of Arts and Sciences. The William H. Riker University Award for Excellence in Graduate Teaching is awarded to Jibulu, who holds the Albert Hauptman Professorship in Engineering and is a professor of computer science in the Hagem School of Engineering. Congratulations. So in my position, I get to work with our fantastic graduate students at the University of Rochester, a job I truly enjoy. And it is my honor to introduce Raquel Ajalik as our graduate student speaker. Raquel completed her degree requirements for her PhD in biomedical engineering in the fall semester, and she is now a business development consultant for a biotech startup firm. Raquel is the first person in her family to graduate from college. So she not only did that, but then she went on to get her PhD. She began her BME program in 2018 and was named a National Science Foundation Graduate Research Fellow. During her graduate studies, she volunteered as a graduate student mentor for our David Kearns Center, and she was a co-founder of the Microphysiological Systems Network that connected University of Rochester with students from our institution over there, the Rochester Institute of Technology. Please join me in welcoming Raquel to the podium.
Wow, thank you so much, Dean Sturge-Apple, for that amazing introduction. And thank you as well to the Council for Graduate Studies for nominating me and to represent all of the amazing graduate students today. I also want to have a special thanks to President Mangelsdorf and our members of trustees for all of their support throughout my time here in Rochester. Most of all, thanks to all of our great students and their families and friends for being here, rain or shine. So thank you all. And special shout out to the Department of Biomedical Engineering, for sure. It is really such an honor to be standing before you all today in celebration of one of our greatest accomplishments in life. I think I'm supposed to say something that's somewhat deeply moving and impactful, and that somehow makes you all feel proud, encouraged, and optimistic for your bright future ahead. Now, I think the council might be a little bit confused that my degree title has Doctor of Philosophy in it. Yeah. But with it, I have attained, maybe some deep wisdom and clarity in life, and that makes me somewhat qualified to stand before you all today. But what in reality I think happened is that they glossed over the engineering part, because you know how engineers are so great at delivering clear, concise, and motivational talks, am I right? I actually struggled quite a bit to write this speech without a PowerPoint to show you or a graph to distract my eye contact with you all. But the truth is that this talk isn't about what I did, or in reality did not accomplish, during my time at the University of Rochester, but rather how my time here in Rochester has really shaped me through challenges and wins, and has really forced me to adapt to an environment that has been completely new to me. Now, in reality, getting this degree has been one of the most challenging things that I've ever done in my life so far. As I started to wrap up my time here at the U of R, the question I have most received has been, would you do it all again? Which is really a question of, was it worth it? And That's very passive-aggressive, in my opinion. I actually received the same question after graduating from my undergrad. My journey started in community college, where I worked full-time and went to school full-time, something that many of you may have done as well. At this point, I was promised that holding a degree, literally any degree, would help me open any door that I wanted. Now, at the time, I was working at McDonald's, and so I wanted that door to have the largest dollar sign behind it, of course. And so that lured me to pursue a degree in chemical engineering that focused on petroleum engineering at Washington State University. I recall asking our oil company recruiters that would visit our department, "How do you enjoy your job?" And I would consistently get the same response. "Well, you know, the pay makes it worth it." The truth was that their job kept them away from their loved ones. It was very stressful, and it didn't particularly make the world a better place. I knew at that moment that was not the door that I was looking for. It was not the life in which I would find fulfillment and purpose. But it was the end of my junior year, and I had to quickly pivot. I was blessed to have amazing mentors around me that really helped me to gain the experience that I needed and helped me to find my way into graduate school, ultimately into a field that I found tremendous purpose. Now, thinking back to my first day of orientation in my first semester in grad school, I was surrounded by some of the most brilliant and talented people that I have ever met. The excitement of the new beginning quickly turned into fear and constant thoughts of not belonging. As many graduate students will tell you, this first year is one of the most challenging when we enter grad school. For those of us who move far from home, far from loved ones, each day that first year is a test of our strength to step outside of our comfort zone and really make the difference that we all came here for. I was lucky to quickly find my village here in Rochester that allowed me to support them, and they ultimately supported me throughout my entire time here. All of us became united through this experience, students that came from all around the world together and achieved amazing things. Now, I recall moments that stick out in my mind, such as failing my first exam in Dr. Foster's Advanced Transport Phenomenon class. This experience truly defined my first semester, and I remember going home and telling my husband, "That's it, pack your bags, I'm not cut out for this grad school stuff. I don't belong here." After being talked down from quitting the program, shout out to my amazing husband, Grady, for being my rock. Yes. I remember walking back into Dr. Foster's office the following day with the full intention of asking for some way to save my grade. His kindness and honesty shifted my entire perspective. He ultimately ended with saying, "You know you'll likely fail at way bigger things at this one exam during your time in grad school, but you'll adapt and you'll be successful." I laughed at this statement as it reminded me of my parents' immigrant story from Nicaragua back in the 80s. While it is difficult for me to understand how they ever navigated so many trials during those initial years, they always explained it away with a shrug, and they would just say, "Mija, you just do it." There is a heaviness in that phrase. There's an indication of a lot of challenges and a lot of failed expectations. But it also demonstrates that a self-assurance and that we each have all that it takes. I was the first in my family to go to graduate school, and after some difficulty explaining that I was not going to get a real job after undergrad, but rather spend another 5, possibly 6 years in school, they were very puzzled, but they ultimately gave me their same confidence. Now, I would love to tell you that it was all smooth sailing the whole time. It was not. I think you will each understand the sacrifices that it takes to sit in each of these chairs today. For some of us, it's sleepless nights, possibly a small or a very large caffeine addiction. For some of us, it's missed celebrations, holidays far from home, and maybe somebody that you just couldn't say I love you to one last time. I want to acknowledge that there was a long and unique journey for each of us to sit here today. And while I have only shared a glimpse into my time here, I want to encourage each of you to reflect on those moments that defined who you are today, the good as well as the bad ones, because I'm sure that we will have to heavily adapt in this next chapter as well. Now, I don't think I can still answer this question of, was it worth it? I find that this question implies that I can somehow go back to the start and make a different choice, and I can't. But what all of our experiences have really allowed us to do is to create our own story, as well as the ability to make a new ending wherever we go. So to all of the students here this morning with so much uncertainty surrounding us, I see you, we need you, and it's time for each of us to speak up. And remember that we all have what it takes. And thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2024.